Okay, welcome back to the channel. And now on today's episode, we are going to discuss about why USA wants Panama Canal from Panama. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about this. Okay, the US has a long-standing interest in the Panama Canal for the several critical reasons, which are both geopolitical and economic in nature. Then we are going to discuss about some reason why each wants to have the Panama Canal. At first, through a strategic military advantage, the Panama Canal served as a shortcut between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Before its construction, ship has to be navigated around the tip of the South America, which was time-consuming and costly. With the canal, U.S. military force could rapidly move ship, troops, and supply between the two oceans, enhancing the U.S. military reach and flexibility. Now, a naval power projection, the canal allowed the U.S. Navy to swiftly transition from one ocean to another, which was the vital for controlling both Atlantic and Pacific theater of the war. During the Old War, for example, the ability to quickly deploy naval force across the America was the major strategic advantage. Now, modern doctrine, the US saw itself as a dominant power in the Western Hemisphere, particularly through the modern doctrine was discouraged European intervention in the America. Control of the Panama Canal ensured that the no European or foreign power could gain control over this crucial choke point in the global trade and the military logistic. Another one is the economic benefit. The Panama Canal was a vital trade route that significantly reduced the time and cost of shipping goods between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. The canal allowed ships to avoid the long and arduous route around the South America, Cape Town, saving thousands of miles of travel and reducing the shipping cost. Now, boost to the U.S. trade for the U.S. control and the canal mean that American ship has quicker access to the market on the both side of the continent, boosting the US economy. It is also allowed US good to reach the Pacific market more easily, benefiting the American exporter also. Now, global trade influence the canal was not only the beneficial to the US but also to the other country using the trade good between the continent. This gave the US the ability to control a major part of the international shipping, influencing the global trade and giving US as an economic leverage over the nation. Now, geopolitical control and security, the Panama Canal was one of the most important strategic waterway, and control over it was seen as an essential for United States geopolitical influence in the Western Hemisphere. Now, preventing the foreign control, the US wanted to ensure that the no European or the rival power could seize control of the canal, which could compromised the American military and the economic interests. The US was particularly concerned with the potential European or the Japanese intervention in the region, especially as a power dynamic shifted during early 20th century. The expansion of the influence, the US had a broader goal of asserting its dominance in Western Hemisphere through the territorial expansion as well as establishing a sphere of influence over Canal Central America and Caribbean. The construction and the control of the Panama Canal was a main reason for this. Now, Teddy and Roosevelt, the big stick diplomacy, the US President Theodore Roosevelt played a crucial role in ensuring the US control over the Panama Canal zone. The US wanted to secure the right to build and control the canal, and the Roosevelt administration actively pursued this goal through the diplomacy and the military force. The Panama Canal Treaty of 1903, Roosevelt negotiated an agreement with the Panama, then part of the Colombia, to secure US control of the Canal Zone. This was the part of Roosevelt's broader foreign policy approach known as the Big Stick diplomacy, where the US used its military power to assert control in its sphere of the influence. The role of the Panama's independence also, the US effectively encouraged Panama independence from Colombia, and once Panama declared independence in 1903, it quickly signed the Hay Barnea Treaty, granting the US the right to build, control, and defend the canal. This gave the US unprecedented authority over the region and the canal itself. Now, the economic and the political risks of control. Although the US had a significant control over the canal and its surrounding area, maintaining that control was very expensive and politically complex. Over the time, there were growing call for the return of control of Panama, especially from Panamanian who resisted the U.S. presence and from international actors who viewed U.S. dominance in a region as imperialistic. Towards the Carter Treaty, eventually due to the diplomatic pressure and changing the political landscape, the U.S. agreed to hand over control of the Panama Canal to Panama. This was formalized through the Torres-Carter Treaty signed in 1977. This treaty stipulated that the canal would be handed over to the Panama by 1999 in a process that took effect at the return of the century. Also, now economic transition, the US continued to have economic and strategic interest in the region, but as a global geopolitical landscape evolved, it became clear that Panama's sovereignty and control over the canal were necessary for regional stability and international goodwill. Also, the role of canal in a modern trade today, the Panama Canal remains as essential global trade route, but its significance has evolved in the context of modern shipping practice with the construction of larger vessels such as Panamax ship and the expansion of the global trade network. While the US no longer control the canal, it's important in maintaining the trade, and the military power remains as a priority for the US and many other nations. Continued strategic importance. The US maintains a close relationship with Panama. The canal continued to be a key factor in the military and trading strategy. It also part of larger international logistic network and that is still affect the US economic policy and trade negotiation. In summary, US wanted to control of the Panama Canal for its military strategic advantage, economic benefit, and geopolitical interest. It was critical artery for the US power projection, trade, and regional dominance. Over time, the US enlisted the control of the canal of the Panama, but the canal significance as a global trade and the military passes continue to influence the US policy today. Okay, now we have discussed about this. Hope all of you have understood something new. Have a great day.